480 BC. A Persian king commands the largest army ever assembled in human history. 2 million soldiers. 1,000 warships. An empire that stretches from India to Egypt. Standing in their way, 300 men. Not an army. Not a nation. Just 300 Spartans in a mountain pass. And they chose to die there. The year is 480 BC. The Persian Empire is the most powerful force the ancient world has ever seen. Under King Xerxes, son of Darius, the self-declared god-king, Persia has already conquered Egypt, Babylon, and most of modern-day Turkey. And now, Xerxes wants Greece. His army is so vast that ancient sources claimed it drank rivers dry as it marched. His fleet filled the Aegean Sea horizon to horizon. For the Greeks, this wasn't just an invasion. This was the end of their world. But Greece wasn't united. It never was. Athens and Sparta were rivals. The city-states constantly fought each other. Getting them to cooperate was nearly impossible. Except for one man who understood something every other Greek leader didn't. If Persia reached the heart of Greece, there would be no Greece left to argue over. His name was Leonidas, king of Sparta. And he had a plan. Thermopylae wasn't chosen by accident. The name literally means the hot gates, a reference to the sulfur springs nearby. It was a narrow coastal pass, squeezed between the mountains and the sea. At its tightest point, it was barely wide enough for a wagon to pass. And that was exactly the point. Leonidas understood something most military commanders miss. Numbers don't matter if you can neutralize them. In an open field, 300 Spartans would be swallowed whole. But in a narrow pass, the Persians couldn't attack from the flanks. They couldn't encircle the Greeks. They could only march forward, right into Spartan spears. It was brilliant and terrifying. Leonidas brought 300 of his finest warriors. But he wasn't alone. Greek allies from Thespae, Corinth, and Arcadia joined him, around 7,000 men total. But it was the 300 Spartans who would write history. He waited 4 days for the Greeks to retreat. They didn't. On the 5th day, he sent the Medes, one of his elite infantry forces, to finish it quickly. What happened next shocked the entire Persian camp. The Medes were slaughtered. The Spartans weren't just fighting, they were performing. They understood the psychology of battle as well as its physics. They'd deliberately retreat, drawing Persians into the tightest part of the pass, then wheel around with devastating precision and cut them down in waves. Xerxes watched from his golden throne on a nearby hillside. The historians say he stood up 3 times during the battle in shock. He sent in the immortals next, his personal elite guard. 10,000 of the finest soldiers in the empire. They were repelled. Again and again. For 2 full days, 300 men held the pass. On the night of the 2nd day, a man came to Xerxes with information that would change everything. His name was Ephialtes. He was Greek. And he told Xerxes about a goat path, a hidden trail through the mountains that looped around the pass and came out directly behind the Greek position. In exchange, Ephialtes asked for wealth and Persian favor. Xerxes agreed. That night, he sent the immortals around the mountain. When dawn broke on the 3rd day, a scout came running to Leonidas. The Persians were behind them. The alliance shattered. Most Greek city-states retreated. Some ordered back to fight another day, some simply fled. Leonidas ordered them to go. Their survival mattered more than their presence. But Leonidas and his 300 Spartans stayed. Some accounts include around 700 Thespians and 400 Thebans who remained as well. But the Spartans stayed by choice.
Why?
Because Spartan law forbade retreat in battle. Simple as that. On the morning of the third day, Leonidas led his men forward into the widest part of the pass, not to defend, but to kill as many Persians as possible before the end. They fought until their spears broke. Then they used swords. Then they fought with their hands. Leonidas was killed in the fighting. The Persians suffered enormous losses just trying to retrieve his body. Eventually, the last Spartans were surrounded, isolated on a small hill, cut off from all escape. Persian archers moved into position. The order was given. A rain of arrows ended what the Persian infantry couldn't. The Persians won the Battle of Thermopylae. Xerxes marched through the pass and burned Athens. But something unexpected happened. The sacrifice of the 300 became a fire that spread across Greece. The city-states, rivals for centuries, united under a single cause. Weeks later, the Greek navy destroyed the Persian fleet at Salamis. Months later, the Greek army crushed the Persians at Plataea. Xerxes retreated. He never returned. The Greek civilization that survived would give the world democracy, philosophy, science, and theater. And it survived because 300 men chose to stand in a narrow pass and die, not out of recklessness, but out of calculation. They weren't trying to win. They were trying to buy time. And they did. The pass at Thermopylae still stands today. On a stone monument near the site, an ancient inscription remains. Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie.